Welterweight gold is on the line at UFC 304 in Manchester, England, as the octagon heads back across the pond. Leon "Rocky" Edwards looking to defend his welterweight belt against Belal Muhammad. It's a rematch more than 3 years in the making. Sayif Saud, head man at Fortis MMA, is here for the big preview. They locked horns in 2021. Didn't get any answers. The rivalry has been building since then.
You're exactly right about this. They did fight. We will touch on that, but let's start with the defending champion now, Leon "Rocky" Edwards, an excellent striker. He's this smooth, ambidextrous footwork to set up his attacks. He's got a nasty clinch game. He's developed great takedown defense. Even if the fight hits the ground, he showed he can out-grapple some of the best wrestlers in the division. He's one of the best that we have in the UFC. He takes on Belal Muhammad. This guy's a dominant grappler. Excellent smothering top control. Very good on the back, but his real thing is pace, right? He's more of a volume striker, but he puts it all together. He just keeps coming downhill. He really outworks guys in the cardio. These guys fought before, ended in the second round with an eye poke. We can take away some patterns from that fight, but it's been several years. It's all about the adjustments from each camp. Whoever executes in Manchester is going to come out on top.
Since that fight, Leon Edwards has done nothing but win, of course, and won the championship belt in dramatic fashion. He's defended it. Belal Muhammad, as you mentioned, the win streak is impressive. Let's go into Fight Focus. We will start with that matchup. It was here in Las Vegas back in 2021. Got a full round in before the eye poke in round 2.
You're right. There was a full round. There's some patterns, and we don't want to take too much away, but we do got to talk about it, and we do got to look at it. So what we want to talk about is Leon's ability to keep guys at kickboxing range. And he does this to Belal right away, kind of pushes him back, gets him on his back foot. But you're going to see Leon is in the southpaw position. And so Belal starts to circle away. And watch Leon. He slides right over, he hits that switch and throws that left kick. So he's really good at changing his stances. When you try to get away from him, he'll trap you with his footwork. So he lands his kick, and then you're going to see him put his leg back from orthodox to southpaw and then throw the front kick. Okay, so you'll see this a lot with Leon. He'll throw a kick and step back actually in a different stance. And the reason this matters is we're gonna take this from here and now show our viewers the camera 7 view. We're gonna watch his footwork right from here. Right from here, we're gonna see. Okay, here's Belal now starting to walk back forward, and you see Leon is kind of even with that foot. But what Leon's gonna do is he's gonna take a step out here, and he's gonna create that angle so that way he is winning. And he does this all the time. Watch, he's gonna step back, and we're gonna see him take this step outside to create this angle that he wants to win. So here's the angle, there's the step. Now we see Leon is right where he needs to be. The left hand's lined up, the left kick is lined up, and he's got Belal in that A zone. And watch this, he's just gonna throw this little pump front kick. He's just gonna pump it right here. Just give it a little pump and watch Belal's reaction here. Boom. You see Belal react with the hands like that, right? Exactly what just happened. So what Leon does is he resets the middle and he gets guys guessing. Belal tried to come forward and Leon starts throwing the 1-2s, understanding he can't let Belal push him backwards, right? So Leon seemed to understand the task and early on was doing very well. And we're gonna talk about this right here. This is where Belal kind of looked the strongest in this fight, was the clinch. Leon is the one that engaged us, but we see Belal turn around. Right away, he's gonna get that, grab that head and get that position, and we're gonna look at this beautiful elbow that he lands right off the break. So Belal looked very, very strong here in the grappling departments. He looked good, but there wasn't a lot of that. So he wins there. Now here we go back to kickboxing range, and watch this right here. Leon hits that switch again. We see him, he is in the orthodox stance. He gives a look, and let's watch how fast he's just gonna step right to that southpaw and create that angle again. That makes Belal have to react, right? Can I process that information that quick? And we're gonna see Leon is so good at this. He's gonna give him a little grab, let me get my range, let me step out again, and then there it is. And I want you to watch this. We're gonna watch Leon's kick at this point in the middle. Look at Belal's hand, right? We've seen this before, and we'll touch on this later. Belal's kind of doing this, right? Kind of like a body. And Leon's kicks always look the same. And we're gonna see Leon's ability to go to the head. Even right here, look, this looks like a body kick. And again, you see Belal, he's here. Leon has a great ability to extend, and he's gonna go right to the head, and he's gonna wrap that around. And this kick hurts Belal, kind of gets him on his bike. We see Leon charging in, trying to pour it on, right? So this was probably the biggest, most significant strike. Here now we see Belal going, all right, I gotta stop waiting around, okay? So he starts coming forward. Once Leon tries to hit him with that little grab, instead of reacting back, this time we see Belal throw a strike. There's the grab, but now Belal goes, I need to throw in the middle of these combos. And he lands this kick, and he starts getting a little bit of offense going. This is towards the end of the first round. Now let's just stop it. This is the first eye poke right here. We can see it happened. There's no doubt about it. Leon's not disputing that. We see Belal trying to come in. Here's the first eye poke. This is at the end of the first round. Hurts Belal, not such a big deal. He can continue. Now we get to the second round. This is the very beginning of the second round. I would say Leon did win the first round. He was looking good. Belal was still in the fight. We see this, and we're going to slow it down. We see the hands extended, and there was a really bad thumb right here. There it is. I mean, you can clearly see it. And Belal couldn't continue, and it was very unfortunate. I think most of our fans know. And that was the end of the fight. So I think Leon's taken a lot of confidence from this fight. I think that was 3 years ago. A lot has happened. They have both grown tremendously. Belal probably had his best performances since, but obviously so has Leon. So it really comes down to who can execute and what adjustments each team can make.
All right, and very much a clash of styles between a grappler and Leon Edwards, who's well-rounded, but known certainly as a striker. Let's dive into the striking of a champion. It's what got him the belt, and it's what has allowed him to keep it.
Absolutely right. Leon loves to keep guys at that preferred kickboxing range. He is so good with his footwork. He'll switch orthodox, he'll switch southpaw, and he just keeps him on the end of that 74 inches. Belal's got 72-inch reach here. He's going to have to try to get inside. But Leon is just a master of this. And let's look. This is the fight we start with because Colby's a grappler, similar to Belal in a lot of ways in his style. And we see Leon, we're going to see him switch stances here. We see Colby is orthodox, but watch Leon. Again, we talked about it. He sets up where he switches to that southpaw where he can keep all of his good weapons right in front. And Colby knows that, right? Colby's making that read, and Colby's going to try to trickle away here. And we're going to watch how Leon just cuts him off. He's going to step laterally again. We see the lateral step, and he's going to continue this lateral step as Colby tries to get away. Leon's going to cut off the octagon so well. And watch him pump that lead hand, right? He gets that lead hand pump. Colby comes in. He's going to land this nice slip pull too. And he kind of hurts Colby here. And you're going to see Colby put his hand up right here. And we're going to watch. You can kind of always tell when a guy gets hurt just kind of by his reaction. And Colby starts to kind of get away a little bit. The hands are up. He didn't like that shot. Leon, again, cutting him off with a lateral movement. And here's where Leon starts playing the high-low game. Now he's got Colby worried about the left hand, worried about the jab, right? He starts pumping it out, a little bit of feints, and then ultimately he starts kicking the legs. So now you're getting kicked, you're getting punched, but you're staying at that preferred range of Leon, which is terrible for the opposition. And this is what ends up happening. So Colby's kind of getting pieced up here. He's kind of having trouble. He knows he's got to make something happen. He's got to cover the distance, and we're going to see this shot right here. This is about as bad as it gets for a wrestler, right? My head is over my knees. I'm reaching. And we don't usually see Colby look this bad, but this is what happens when you got a guy keeping you at kickboxing range and doing everything he needs to do. And that's exactly what Leon does here. We see him get right back to task, switches his feet. Now he's right back on it. Again, he's got the high-low going. Look at Colby's hands. He's got to react, thinking maybe it's going to be a punch. I don't know, but it's a kick, right? So this is what he does. He gets guys waiting, and they start getting desperate, and he wins this kickboxing match almost every single time against all of his opponents. Here he is against the great Kamaru Usman. This is also when he's already gotten the belt, so Kamaru had a chance to kind of try to make some adjustments, but we see Leon again coming off the fence, and watch him just switch stances here, and look at Kamaru, right? He's orthodox, but then he just steps in that southpaw, and you've got to take that seriously, right? Because of that length, because of the kicks, and because of the hands. So Kamaru steps back, he gets a little bit of space, and let's just watch what Leon does here with that space. There's my rangefinder that he loves. He does that little touch. And obviously, Usman has dealt with him before, and we're going to talk about that kick in that fight. So we're going to watch how he uses that previous history right here against Usman. Look at that hand. Usman ain't moving that hand this time. He's got that thing right here. You can still see the blue tape. His elbow's high. But like we said, Leon's kicks always look the same. So instead of going to the head, he lands a big body kick, drops Usman. So he can land to the head, he can land to the body, but it always looks the same from that stance, whether orthodox or southpaw. So it's impossible to kind of track what he's doing. And here, finally, this is just such an evolution for him. You know, when we saw this first fight, anytime he got behind the black line, Usman was just on him, pushing him to the fence, beating him up, taking him down. I mean, just really owning him. And this just shows you Usman is respect for him and how far Leon's come. Usman's not pushing forward like that anymore. It's Leon holding ground. And we see Leon, just that little slip two again, a beautiful counter shot, how confident and comfortable he is inside the octagon, how good he is at this preferred kickboxing range. He really has mastered this, and it is really going to be a difficult test for Belal to try to work around that and get close and change that range game.
On the other side, Belal Muhammad is not known for the striking. He did show it against Sean Brady in a big win for him, and you've game planned against Belal Muhammad with Jeff Neal. What have you noticed about his striking game?
I mean, this guy's come so far, man, right? Yeah, not a powerful striker, but his volume and his footwork and his pressure, he's always trying to find an advantageous position with his feet to win. And I mean, I got to give him a lot of credit for that. Here he's against Vicente Luque, and we see Luque's got him backed up, right? You don't see Belal shooting. You don't see him desperate. He's just standing there. He's comfortable. And that wasn't always the case, I think. So we've seen a great evolution from Belal. But this little left kick right here, I want you guys to watch his left leg. His kicks are really good. He sets them up really well. Get a little pump right here. Give, Vicente something to think about. But watch this. He's going to throw this little inside leg kick. He's going to land it. And look at the range here. Luque, he's right out of the range. Look at that. Right outside of the range. And now watch. Belal's going to move laterally this way, okay, and try to reset the middle, and Vicente is going to follow him this way. So we see some fight IQ here out of Belal too. So here comes him with that lateral movement. As Vicente follows him, right, Belal goes, all right, here's an opportunity. This is probably his best strike, I would say, is this body kick, this left body kick. Look at it, right? He turns the foot. He's right where he needs to be, impacting on the ribs. Like, he's really, really good at timing this. And when you see, too, like, Vicente wasn't thinking it was going to the body, and he's a great striker. So probably one of his best techniques is his left kick. He lands that very well. And now here he is against Gilbert Burns. This was probably one of his best performances. And, it was interesting because he got Gilbert walking back. Usually he's a guy, he's a grappler. He was all striking, right? He wasn't trying to go to the ground with Gilbert. So it was a different look that we haven't really seen. And here we see Gilbert covering up, but look at Belal. He wraps that head kick around. He is, like I said, really good with his kicks. This is the right leg. So he throws the right leg well too. He's going to double up here, throw it again. But here's the impressive part. Gilbert had a high shell defense kind of going the whole time. And we're going to see how patient Belal is and how much he's grown and how much he's changed here. He grabs the wrist right here of Gilbert, right? And he's just watching Gilbert. Well, he's a little peekaboo game because Gilbert is going to look right here at him like, okay, was that the strike? Is it time for me to counter? Watch Gilbert open up here. We see the space right here. Gilbert opens up to kind of see what's going on. And Belal, slick Belal, just fits that. He's going to fit that jab right in there and hit Gilbert, kind of knock him back, and then create this opening. And this is probably Belal's best strike on the feet with the hands. He throws that overhand right and he wraps it around, catches Gilbert, hurts him, kind of gets him moving around and reeling a little bit. And here again, we see that body kick, and I just want you to watch the feet of Belal, how he's always cutting off the octagon, switching the feet, and trying to get his opponents going back with that forward pressure. Look at all the switches he's got going on, the lateral movement, very similar to Leon. So we see Gilbert right in front of him. We talked about that left kick, and he throws it quick, man. He's good at fitting it in there. He fits it right in, but the part I love about this was that low high, I hit you with a kick, and before you have time to get back, now I'm hitting you with the jab. So just tons of evolution out of Belal Muhammad. Really great to see him finally get his shot, and I think he deserves it. And he's well-rounded, and he's going to need that.
Well, his championship opportunity certainly has been a long time coming for the Belal Muhammad supporters. We'll go into the clinch game now. We'll start with Leon Edwards, who, as we saw when they fought in 2021, initiated the clinch. Compelling to see if he tries to do that again.
Absolutely. He's got a nasty clinch game that he's developed. He really makes grapplers pay when they come in and try to grab him. Slicing elbows, very powerful knees. Leon is very good. He's got a lot of length. So here we see him here with Kamaru, and we see this often from him, right? He will grab that head in close, man. He's not even really worried about what's going on underneath. He's got a lot of confidence in takedown defense. And we see Kamaru throw a punch over the top, and he's gonna hit Leon, but boom, look at this huge knee he lands on Kamaru. So you start not wanting to get in close with him because if he grabs you, he's going to land big strikes. And especially in open space, he's very good in the clinch. Lands a big knee. And here we've got RDA. And in this case, RDA is a good grappler, a black belt. We knew he was going to try to get close, right? So we're going to use this fight as an example. I think there's some similarities here. between RDA and Belal. So watch this high double underhooks right here that we get from Leon. Here it comes, right here. Okay, he's really good at this. He likes to get this high double underhooks. We saw Belal Muhammad win this earlier. So this is going to be really interesting battle right here. So we see that, the high underhooks, and we see them work in here, and we see the control. But let's watch here. Watch how slick this is. So he's got the head. He's just kind of hanging out. RDA's like, all right, I'm good. He uses this setup. Boom. I mean, so slick. I'm on your head. As you peel out, I throw that elbow right off the break. So well executed. Beautiful strike. And now here we see him again. He's got the head. This time, he's pulling down on the head. And RDA is like, all right, man, I got to get out of here, right? And he's really selling this pull, 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 pull. RDA is trying to frame away. And again, watch how slick Leon is off the break. Bang. And I mean, he hits RDA with these all day. Sliced him up, had him bleeding. And you got to watch getting in close with Leon. He will cut you up. And this is going to be important because Belal's going to be trying to crash in and close the distance. So really, really looking forward to seeing that clinch battle.
And Belal Muhammad is no stranger to a clinch game, especially along the fence. They worked there, and he was able to reverse that position the last time.
That was his best strike. Belal's got great transitions in the clinch between striking and also going to the wrestling. He really wears guys out too because he's really up and down here. So let's take a look at some of the stuff Belal does. So here he's against Randy Brown, a tall, long striker, very good, surging in his own right. And these are fights that people forget that Belal won. Like, this is a hard fight, okay? And we're going to look at the details here. Randy Brown's got the underhook here. Belal's against the fence, the smaller guy, same as the Leon fight. And we're going to see how he stuffs this wrist here. He's going to stuff Randy's wrist. And now we see him stuff the wrist. Okay, here's step one. And now he just plays a game here. He's using his head position, right? He's keeping Randy Brown guessing. We see Randy Brown. He looks pretty comfortable, but whoa, what happens there? Watch Belal here, how slick this is. He uses his hands to act like he's going for the clinch. And in doing that, Randy Brown's like, perfect. Now I can go to my clinch, right? I'm a big, tall guy. I'm going to land those knees. And he goes right from faking to the head to shooting and changing levels. Look at this. Connects his hands right here. And once you connect your hands under the butt, it's kind of over, right? I mean, it's almost every time a wrap. We're going to see him pull him away. And we see Randy Brown here try to hook the leg, trying to have the defense. But again, once the hands are connected, look at the head position by Belal too. Right in the middle of the chest, right where he needs to be. So he will fake guys out and get these great takedowns in these transition positions in the clinch. And I look for him to really need to do this against Leon. Here he's against Diego Lima, and he really wore Lima out. And when he gets against the fence and he's winning, right, he doesn't necessarily always wrestle. So here he is, he's winning the striking battle, and we're going to see what he does here. He's going to take this arm, he's going to kind of pin it back and hold it with his wrist. So now he's got that wrist control again. He's eyeballing that, and he likes that target right there. And he's going to release this. He's going to land a big elbow here, and we saw this against Leon too. He's really good at landing these elbows in close, and he will look to damage guys. So this is going to be really intriguing because Belal and Leon both are very good in the clinch. We saw Belal have a little bit of success there. I look for him to try to get back there again and try to get Leon against the fence and also transition to the grappling.
We'll stay with the challenger, Belal Muhammad. And one would think if he's going to get his hands on this belt, it's going to be because of his grappling, should he be able to employ it. Absolutely right, Brendan. I mean, look, this guy's an excellent grappler. He's got smothering top pressure. He's really good at taking the back, using that body triangle to hold that position. And he's also got the wrestling, too, to do it. So here he is against Sato, and we're going to take a look at this. Bilal's comfortable on the feet. We've shown that, but ultimately he does want to grapple, right? That's really where he shined. And we're going to see him kind of get his rangefinder there with a touch, similar to Leon. He kind of figures the distance. If I can touch you, I can take you down, right? That's what we say in wrestling. And here it comes. He's got his distance, and we're going to see a pretty slick little outside trip here. Belal has got some good little takedowns that he's been using. The guy was a good wrestler in high school. And, you know, he doesn't have any crazy wrestling credentials, but his MMA wrestling is pretty good. And we see this hand here, and Sato is going to try to whizzer, but Belal's going to finish this. And this is good stuff right here, but this is the impressive part. Right away, look at Belal on the back. Right away, he's so good in the transitions. He's going to take the back. He's going to lock this up. I mean, look, back take. This is great. It doesn't get better than that. The body triangle, he's got his position, he's close, and he's
right away attacking the choke, and I love to see that. Gets the takedown, right when the guy starts to scramble, I'm on the back, I'm attacking the choke. So if a guy's tired, that's when sometimes you can win, and I think that's really important in this fight. So we're gonna talk about this. I want our viewers to really see this, and most of them are pretty schooled and know the deal, so I think they're gonna recognize it. But we see he's got the choking hand here locked in, but he doesn't have the other hand to secure it and really get that pressure. So watch this. This is textbook. So he's going to go for the full choke to try to get the hand behind the head. And Sato does the right thing, right? 2-on-1, he's going to try to grab that hand off. So then Belal's going to transition from that to what we call the short choke, right? We want to get a gable grip, kind of connect our hands, pull. He's got this body triangle, more of a windpipe choke. And we can see where he is here on Sato's neck. But Sato survives this, okay? And so now we have to transition back again to the top rear naked choke. He starts pulling the hand. And so this is the battle that's going on. But here's the best part. Right when he turns here, you look at Belal Muhammad pull the switcherooski. And this is really what it's about here. And we're going to take a look at that on the replay. He's going to replace the hands. Watch closely. He's going to replace the choking arm with the other arm. And now he's got it in even tighter, and Sato can't fight it anymore. And this is really, really good stuff. High-level stuff for the ground. We're going to see a close-up here. We see Sato fighting the hands, and this is exactly what you want to do. You want to fight the hands, and you want to turn into the choke, right? You want to turn into the hands and try to peel them. So all the right stuff, and watch how Belal tricks him. You're turning into the hands. Right when you do that, I switch the choke. He locks it in, gets the finish. So Leon cannot get Belal on his back and just chill. I mean, he's going to have to be mindful of this. And here he's against Wonder Boy. And I mean, look, lots of guys have tried this. And yeah, okay, we get it. Wonder Boy's not the best wrestler, but he's not easy to just take down and dominate. And Belal made it look easy, right? Tall, long striker, similar to Leon. He just was in such a good place with his pace and with his wrestling. And here he goes again. We see him on the back, and we see the strength of Belal. He's going to flatten Wonder Boy out here, and he's going to land big shots. The fight almost got stopped here. It could have been. But he really just dominated Wonder Boy in a way that we haven't really seen. And this was some years ago, right? We know Wonder Boy's getting older, but this was a really good quality win for Belal. He's a very good grappler. He has tons of pressure and the wrestling also to get the fight to the ground.
Well, Belal's grappling is what's helped him win all these fights and get him the championship opportunity. For Leon Edwards, not his strength over the course of his UFC career, but it's had to have been good enough to take down Kamaru Usman and allow him to keep his belt against some standout grapplers.
It's been a long journey for him to the belt, but in that time, he's really developed his game, right? I mean, not only will he initiate grappling, he can win some of these offensive scrambles, and he's really got great takedown defense. So he's beaten some of the very best wrestlers in the division. I mean, that's just something that we're going to have to talk about and go over that Belal obviously has to know too. So here we see, we're just going to stop it right here. This tells the whole story. This is just, again, not where you want to be. I mean, look at the head position here of Colby. My head is way over my knees. My hips are way back. I don't have any power. And we see the frame here by Leon. And if I can get a frame on the head and get the head away from the body, it's almost impossible for you to finish that takedown, especially a single leg. And we're going to see the athleticism here of Leon. Let's watch him limp out. We call this limping out. But what I love about this, Brendan, is right after he gets off this, he's right back on the pressure. He's trying to get behind Colby and make that angle again to win, right? So this is a huge moment for him. You know, we touched on this. Here's against Kamaru Usman. Usman had dominated him in the first fight and had some success in the second fight. But Leon, it just shows his physical growth and how far he's come here. We're just going to let this play. Look at Leon. He's going to hand fight here. Kamaru's like, all right, here we go. You know, chapter 2. I've been here before. This is what he's thinking. Here goes Leon. He turns it around. All right, still, Kamaru's still looking good. But right here, we see that Leon gets an underhook. Okay, and here's when we really kind of see a changing of the guard almost, right? Leon uses this underhook, and he's going to kind of jack it up here. Kamaru's still super confident. We see Leon connect his hands, and no one has ever taken Kamaru Usman down at welterweight at this point, ever. And Kamaru's like, all right, you got double unders, whatever. And we see Leon not only defend, but go for this outside trip. And this is just such a big deal here because we see Kamaru, this guy's a legend, man. I mean, he's got the underhook, and his foot's still here. He's thinking I might throw by Leon. But Leon ends up on top, man. And Leon's become so physical, he'll win these positions. So Belal has to watch out. He initiated the grappling for a reason. He kind of does it as a point like, whatever, I'll take you down too. So really interesting to see how that plays out.
Muhammad's been in main event 5-round fights, not in a championship opportunity, on the road in the UK in this case. What's the X factor for Belal Muhammad to pull the upset here?
He's not the fastest guy. He's not the strongest guy, but he might be one of the hardest workers in the welterweight division. This guy's work outside of the gym always shows on fight night. His pace is incredible. He looks to break guys and really push the pace. It's frenetic. He doesn't stop. He keeps coming. The reason this is important is because Leon has struggled with that in the past. Even though it was a while ago and now he's the champion, that is what Usman did to him. And Belal and his team are going to have to look at that. Obviously, this is one of the best highlights of Belal. We know he's not a power striker, guys. We get it. But, man, look at the tenaciousness here. Sean Brady was unbeaten at this point, and we see Belal just pouring it on. He wanted to make a statement, and he does. We see the lateral footwork, all the things we talked about, switching his feet, right, making sure he's in position. That right hand that he throws, around the guard. And we see the ref getting ready to jump in. But when you got gas like that and you can pour it on, I mean, this is a superpower that Belal has worked into his game. And ultimately, this was kind of one of his biggest statements. And he's going to land one more big shot here, I think. It's coming up. There it is. And that's it. So this is when we saw Belal kind of, coming to his own. Here he's against Randy Brown. He will punish guys on the ground with his pace. He gets him in this position. Nice elbow off the break against Luque. And here he's against Lima. And again, that transition up, down, up, down, up, down. And I look for him to do the same thing, right? He's going to posture up here, try to put some damage on. So Belal's going to have to tie everything we talked about today together with his pace and really put Leon on his back foot.
Well, Leon Edwards put the belt on his resume. Now he's defending it, creating a legacy for himself as really one of the welterweight greats. What's the X factor, though, as he looks to defend his belt again?
Man, when I think of Leon Edwards, I think precision. Man, the guy is so precise with his striking. He doesn't throw a lot of power shots, right? But when he does, they are deadly. And he can end the fight at any moment, as we've seen. Whether he's behind, whether he's ahead, it doesn't really matter. And here he is with Kamaru. We're going to let this play. Our fans have seen this, right? They're fight fans. They've seen this. We'll talk about it a little bit here on the camera 7 and the overtop view. Here we see Leon. You get so comfortable with that kickboxing range, right? He kind of starts piecing you up, picking you apart, but it's, you can survive it, right? You get rocked, but you're still there, that you start to make mistakes. And we see Kamaru started to lean away from the punch, but he leans right into the kick. And this is what happens with Leon, right? He gets you so cozy, even when he's beating you, and you get comfortable and you don't know. Watch this. He pumps that hand and watch Kamaru. He moved to the side right into the kick. So he got Belal with his kick as well. It didn't land flush enough to knock him out, but we know he's hit him with it. We know he's going to be looking for it. Here he's against Belal, and we just want to talk about the foot position here, right? He's always in the right place. I mean, look at this. Full extension, turning his hips. I mean, it doesn't get better than that, and we see where he is. I mean, he knows exactly where to be to land his strikes. And he was landing on Belal with accuracy. And that's why we put that in there. And here he's against Seth. This is early in his career. We talk about how he likes to circle around and put what in front? Put the left stuff in front, right? The left hand, the left leg. And that's exactly what he's going to do here. He's going to circle around, boom. Laser left hand, puts him out. And another reason we put this in there is this. Here's a kick that he throws. We know Belal likes to throw kicks. He's going to have to set him up because Leon was looking for that, smokes him down the middle, and ends this fight. So Leon's got power in his hands too, and obviously his legs. And he is, I think, going to look to be very aggressive in this fight and try to put Belal away.
Well, as we kind of wrap things all up, we'll go to the keys to victory. We'll start with Leon Edwards. He's defended his belt on home soil in the UK. What are his keys to victory to do it again?
He's got to pressure forward, Brendan. I think he had success in the first fight. I mean, you saw that was a smaller octagon. It's about 30% smaller. But he was trying to push Belal back and get him on his back foot, not let him get that momentum. I think we're going to see the same pattern out of him and his team. But to do that, he's got to win the scrambles. Belal understands. He's been in there with him. Belal's going to try to mix it up. He's going to try to clinch him. He's going to try to take him down. Leon has to win these scrambles. He cannot allow Belal to kind of work the clock and stall in these positions. Even if Leon defends him, he's not getting his offense off. And lastly, he's got to stay off his back. There's one thing people have been a little critical of Leon in his last fight against Colby. He just kind of laid there in the 5th round, even though he had it. Just not something you see from champions very often, right? I mean, sometimes he'll be a little bit comfortable on his back, even though he's winning, right? And he won't push the pace. And if he gives Belal any momentum at all, I think Belal's going to run with it as far as he can. And so he's definitely going to have to watch out for that, not get too cozy there on his back.
On the other side is Belal Muhammad, of course. What does he need to do to pull the upset?
He's got to keep Leon on his back foot, right? And we saw in the first fight, when he was moving backward, it didn't look good, right? But when he started to come forward and throw when Leon was trying to get his range, he did have some success. And he's also going to have to secure dominant positions so he can kind of run the clock, right, and win those positions. Obviously, he's going in Manchester. He's fighting overseas. It's going to have to be very clear cut. And I think the clinch battle is going to be so important because we saw how hard Leon is to take down an open space. I think Belal is going to have to use those transitions and really be on point to get the fight to the ground.
All right, March of 2021 was when they fought in Las Vegas. We didn't get finality. There was an eye poke in the 2nd round. It led to a no contest. Leon Edwards went on, of course, to win the belt in dramatic fashion, defend it a couple of times since then. Now he looks to do it at home, and Belal Muhammad has done nothing but keep winning. Sayif Saud, great job.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching UFC Breakdown. It goes down to UFC 304 in Manchester. Enjoy the fight.